Hello, guys. AKC here. Today I'm back with another review. I know I have this cover on and everything. It's very cold in my room. I'm actually back in KC. Since it's Thanksgiving break, and I'm back in KC, college and everything. So yeah, it's very cold in my room right now. So yeah, sorry about the cover. It's not that professional, but hey. So yes, okay. First of all, yes, I know what's happening. I know GNX. I know the Kendrick Lamar album came out. I know. I've listened to it. I am going to do a review on it probably at some point. So I know, but I was just doing this review because I haven't done a review in a while, and I haven't really found time to do a review, so I feel like this was the perfect time to do a review. Yeah, so today we're doing Human After All by Daft Punk. I may be wondering, okay, out of all Daft Punk albums, why is this the first one I'm like doing instead of Discovery or even Homework? Well, that's because this is the one I most recently listened to for the first time, and I have some very interesting thoughts about it. Especially since I love Discovery. I actually really love Discovery. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, actually. Yeah, I definitely have some thoughts. So if you like Daft Punk, this is definitely going to be a very interesting video. So, okay, so who's Daft Punk? You already know who Daft Punk is. French duo, French robots making music about, love and being human and being robots. Yeah, that's a major oversimplification of them. But they're known for the crazy samples and everything, especially after Discovery. You could, arguably say that they're probably one of the best duos or groups of all time. Which, granted they are. Their influence is very much felt and known in a lot of sample music now. Even despite how much you dislike them, you can't really deny that it's there. And songs like Face to Face, One More Time, what else from there? Face to Face, One More Time, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger have all been major, pop moments, in history, in my opinion. So after Discovery, you would think, okay, yeah, so they're gonna keep going on the streak. Well, actually, no. So for this album, they actually didn't even promote it very well or anything, which kind of was a detriment to this album because apparently at the time it wasn't really well received, which come later, we'll discuss later, it kind of makes sense. I understand why. It's actually just completely different. It's completely different. While Discovery was more French house music, this one is different in that it's a lot more industrial. Yeah, I know, industrial. A lot more heavy. It's a lot less house and a lot more electronic, if that makes sense. Doesn't mean you can't dance to it, but it's not a house. It has house elements. Some songs are kind of house. When I say some, I only mean one song is kind of house, but yeah. So let me just get right into it, because I have some interesting thoughts about this album. So with this album, it's so different from Discovery, and it's so different from what I've heard from them. It sounds a lot more harsh. It sounds a lot more dark thematically. You have songs like The Prime Time of Your Life. If you've seen that music video, yeah. It's pretty dark. It's kind of, I feel like there's kind of some commentary going on here, especially after seeing that music video. You got The Prime Time of Your Life kind of talking about, I feel like just the prime time of, your life as a young person, and seeing all these, and needing to change yourself for society and everything. In the song is it's the prime time of your life, move it or do it now and everything. Just this rush and everything. Same thing with the song Television Rules the Nation. I feel like this is kind of commentary on how technology is kind of taking over, which is kind of ironic since this is a very electronic album, but how technology is taking over, and the influence of people, of authorities on the television and everything, kind of dictating what's going on and everything. So there is some interesting commentary here, I think, but the way that it's done is kind of just not my thing. Okay, first of all, this album is very repetitive. Super repetitive, even on some of my favorite tracks. It gets super old super fast, and I don't know if that's because I don't like the sounds, but I listen to repetitive music. I've listened to freaking one of the most repetitive albums I've ever listened to, Try Repete by Altakur. Very repetitive, very mechanical, very robotic, but there's still so much emotion into it, and it still varies itself enough to not be that repetitive where it's oh wow. This one, it's just straight up repetitive. For example, The Prime Time of Your Life, It's just dun 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 dun. That doesn't sound bad, but it's just that for the next 4 minutes, and it only varies near the end. Wrong song. That's Television Nation, but like, sorry, the Power of Your Life. It's like dun 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 dun, and it's kind of just what that is. And then it speeds up near the end. It's like basically near the end of the song, kind of feels like nothing has actually happened in the song. It just played, and that's just it. And while I do actually kind of fuck with the message, I mean, like, instrumentally after that, it's just like nothing. It really is just nothing. Same thing with Steam Machine, which has some really cool potential. There's a really cool, like, menacing synth, kind of funky even. But like, it's just that, and the guy's saying Steam Machine. And it gets very old very quickly with no variation. And like I said, I would say, in some cases that's cool, but in this case, it just seems so mind-numbing. And would rather be like a cool song. Like at first you're just like, oh, this sounds cool, and then you realize, oh, this is just the rest of the song. And that's it. And it's just like, eh. And yeah, it's really not that good. It's probably my least favorite track on the album. It really is not that good. I don't like Steam Machine. I wish I did, because it has so much potential, but it's just like so. It's just so nothing. It's just so nothing. And we have songs like the Brainwasher, which is like Steam Machine, except just a different a different concept. It was like just the guy instead of saying Steam Machine, it's just saying Brainwasher with a different effect. I do think the beat is a little bit better. But like even then, it's just super mind numbing. Something with emotion. Gosh, emotion. It just feels so, I won't say self-indulgent. I don't think it's self-indulgent, but I think emotion is. It doesn't have that much emotion for what it's trying to do. I do like the certain passages that go across it, like the dun 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 dun, and like, yeah, that's cool, and it's kind of emotional. That's kind of emotional, but the rest of the song is lacking any emotion at all. And the thing is, though, is that this is not even a hard thing to do electronically while still trying to make it sound mechanical, but also emotional at the same time. We have Too Long, that was really right off the other album, that was 10 minutes long, but it's had so much emotion into it. Emotion is 7 minutes long, and it somehow isn't able to do that in like less time. Same thing back to my Autocur comparison, which I know comparisons in music are dumb, but like this is kind of to show you that I'm not like, oh, it's repetitive. So yeah, I'm not having a problem with repetitive music. But you go to something like Try Repete, and then that song Ristio is literally one of the best electronic songs and like closest I've ever heard. And it puts up so many emotion and dread just from that track. But here, I don't feel the emotion. It just feels so, like I said, mind-numbing, which is a little bit a lot of this album is, especially on some of my favorite tracks like Human After All. Well, yeah, sure, the vocal melody and the melodic things on here are also very, very catchy. I'm not gonna lie, they're very, very catchy. It just gets so old, and I'm like, dude, I just want the next track to play, but then the next track is Prime Time of Your Life, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then you have Robot Rock, which actually has a really cool guitar sound, and it's really cool, robot vocal sound, like it was like rock, robot rock, and it's really cool. But then you realize, oh, this is the whole song. This is the whole song, and it sounds cool. Don't get me wrong, it does sound cool. But like, this is the whole song. You're like, dang, really? This is the whole song? Are you kidding me? And like, those are the two most popular tracks from here. But I don't think those are the best tracks on here. I think some of the best tracks on here are like more of the deep cuts. Like Make Love came out of nowhere. I love the piano on this. It sounds so heavenly. And honestly, just so loving. Same thing with the guitar sample as well. It sounds so rich and texturous. I really like it actually. And it's something I did not expect. This is a deep cut. Make Love is a deep cut off this album. This is actually a really good song, and I really like it. It's a lot more ambient. It's a lot less harsh, and I kind of like how it breaks up the monotony that was kind of just starting to get old. It started to get old real quickly, even on Robot Rock. So I'm really happy that he brought this album, and then they brought this on. They did this on this. They put this on this album, and then the Brainwasher. It comes right after Make Love, and it's like, oh, okay, no, never mind. But then you go to Television Rules and Nation, which sounds like it could be the same thing, but again, it's kind of just not. The reason why is because the melody is actually kind of interesting. It's a lot more interesting than songs like Steam Machine, The Brainwasher, who did have interesting ones, but this one this is a lot more interesting with its constant television rules the nation thing and the kind of backing vocals that make it sound so dystopian. I really freaking like this track actually. But it's actually nothing compared to actually the best track on the album, which is Technologic, which samples Busta Rhymes' "Touch It." And wow, oh my gosh, just the steady build with the kind of like the house sounding, drums, and then you have like the like the synth drum thing that's been throughout the whole sound, like the harsh synth that's been on the whole album. And then you have like the that's from Emotion, kind of like foreshadowing Emotion, and then you have the Technologics, the Touch It sample, and it's just like mixed together to make honestly a perfect song. This is actually a really good song. It's super catchy, it's super fun, and every single time I listen to it, I have a smile on my face. Like, this is just a lot of fun to listen to. It's just so much fun to listen to, and that's kind of what I wanted this album to be. It's like, yeah, I'm okay with it being more mechanical and more like mechanical and robotic than Discovery, but like most of this album just wasn't it. I'm not gonna lie, man. Even the songs that I do like, except for Technologic, I could legitimately think could go against some of the tracks off of Discovery. Everything else, even the songs that I really like Television Hallucination, Robot Rock, Women After All, and even Make Love, just get repetitive and kind of boring. You know what I mean? At a certain point, and yeah. I do think the sounds, I think the ideas on here are all good, and I just wish that they were executed in a better way. But no, this is actually a really disappointing album. No, it's a good album. No, it's a really disappointing album. So I think I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, just a solid 6 out of 10. It's cool. It's fun to listen to on some points, but it's mostly just like repetitive. But this is really good. Yeah, it's 6 out of 10.